Have you ever wondered why your dog does those funny, sometimes confusing things every single day? Maybe you've noticed your dog stretching wide when you get home, or scratching the ground after doing his business, or maybe even racing around the house like he's lost his mind. Well, you're not alone. If you've ever caught yourself asking, why in the world is he doing that? You're about to find out. Today, I'm going to walk you through what these curious behaviors really mean, straight from your dog's point of view. And the best part is, once you understand these habits, you'll feel even closer to your loyal friend. So stick with me, because what you'll learn today might just change how you see that wagging tail forever. Now, let's get started with the first mystery. Why does your dog scratch the ground after he does his business? Let's kick things off with something you've probably seen countless times, but never thought too deeply about. After your dog finishes his business outside, you see him turn around and start scratching the ground like he's trying to dig to China. Many folks think he's trying to cover up what he left behind, but the real reason might surprise you. Dogs have tiny scent glands tucked inside the pads of their paws. When they scratch the ground, they're not just leaving behind the smell of what they did, they're spreading a whole extra signature of who they are. It's like leaving a calling card for any other dog that might pass by. This tells other dogs, hey, I was here. This is my spot. It doesn't matter if your dog is male or female, big or small. This is a deep instinct passed down from their wild ancestors. Some experts even believe scratching helps your dog feel good about claiming a space and announcing, I'm healthy, I'm here, and I'm in charge. So the next time you see those little paws digging away, just remember, your dog is broadcasting his presence loud and clear to the whole neighborhood. And speaking of strange things dogs do, have you ever watched yours chasing his own tail like it's the best toy in the world? Let's see what that's all about. Now, let's talk about another classic scene that always gets a chuckle. You're sitting on the porch or in your living room, and suddenly your dog starts spinning in circles, trying so hard to catch his own tail. At first glance, it's pretty funny. But have you ever wondered why he does it? For puppies, chasing their tail is usually harmless play. To a young dog, that wagging tail is just another moving toy to pounce on. But if you see an adult dog doing it over and over again, it could be telling you something deeper. Sometimes dogs chase their tails because they're bored out of their minds. They don't have enough things to sniff, chew, or run after during the day. Other times, it's a sign your dog feels nervous or stressed, and he's looking for a way to cope. Spinning and biting that tail can become a habit, almost like a nervous tic for people. The good news is, you can help break this cycle. Try adding an extra walk to his day. Toss him a puzzle toy to keep his mind busy, or spend more time playing fetch. If you ever see your dog spinning around like a furry top, remember, it's not just for laughs. It's his way of telling you he needs more fun, more play, and more of you. And now, let's switch gears and look at something even wilder. Have you ever seen your dog bolt across the house at lightning speed for no reason at all? There's a name for that, too, and you're about to hear it. All right, let's dive into one of the funniest and most surprising dog behaviors of all. The zoomies. Picture this. You're relaxing after dinner when, out of nowhere, your dog blasts through the living room like a rocket, skidding around corners and bouncing off the couch. It might look wild, but don't worry. This is perfectly normal. Experts call this funny burst of energy FRAPs, which stands for Frenetic Random Activity Periods. But most folks just call it the zoomies. Dogs of all ages get them, and they usually mean your dog is feeling happy, playful, and full of extra energy he just has to burn off. Sometimes dogs get the zoomies after a bath, after being cooped up for too long, or when they're just overjoyed to see you. Imagine it like a child running through sprinklers on a hot day. Pure fun. Research even shows that this goofy run helps dogs shake off tension and reset their mood. So if you see your dog zooming back and forth, don't panic. Instead, make sure he's got a safe space to do it without knocking over Grandma's vase. Laugh with him, maybe toss a toy, and know you're watching a happy, healthy dog living his best moment. Now, what about when that same joyful pup leaps right up on you the second you walk through the door? Let's find out why they love jumping up so much. Now, let's talk about that warm, wiggly welcome you get the second you step through your front door. Maybe your dog jumps up, paws on your chest, tail wagging a mile a minute. For some people, it's adorable. For others, especially if your dog is bigger than you'd like, it can be a bit too much. But have you ever wondered why your dog does this? Jumping up is your dog's way of saying, "I've missed you and I need to know everything about you right now." You see, when dogs greet each other, they sniff faces, and for your dog, your face is way up high. So jumping is his natural way to reach you and soak in every scent you've brought home. He can smell where you've been, who you've met, and even what you've eaten. On top of that, dogs learn from puppyhood that licking faces is how they asked mom for food or attention. So when your grown dog tries to lick your face now, it's his way of showing love and excitement. The trick is, if you'd rather not get tackled every time you walk in, don't scold him harshly. Just ignore the jumping and reward calm behavior instead. Over time, your dog will learn that sitting nicely brings belly rubs, while jumping up gets him nothing. It takes patience, but it works. And while we're on the topic of strange things dogs put in their mouths, what should you do if you ever catch your dog eating something he really shouldn't? Like his own poop. I know it's unpleasant, but it's worth understanding. All right, I know this is one of those things nobody wants to see, much less talk about. But if you've ever caught your dog sniffing around and then doing the unthinkable with his own poop, you're not alone. It's called coprophagia, and believe it or not, it's more common than most people think. Studies show that about 1 in 4 dogs has eaten poop at least once, and around 16% do it regularly. So why on earth would they do that? For puppies, eating poop is actually natural. Their mother used to clean up after them by licking, and sometimes puppies copy that. It's nature's way of keeping their den tidy. But if an adult dog does it, the reasons are usually different. Sometimes it's boredom, stress, or just a lack of things to do. Other times, dogs might be trying to keep their space clean if they're left alone too long. It can also be a signal that your dog's diet isn't quite right, so he's looking for nutrients he's missing. The good news is you don't need to panic. Don't punish your dog. That won't help at all. Instead, check his food. Make sure he's getting enough exercise, and talk to your vet if it keeps happening. Remember, he's not trying to gross you out. He's trying to tell you something's off in his world. Now, let's move on to a much more charming habit. Have you ever walked into the room and found your dog lying on his back with his belly in the air? There's a sweet reason behind that, too. Now let's switch gears to something that always warms the heart. Seeing your dog sprawled out on his back, legs in the air, belly completely exposed. It might look funny, but did you know this sleeping pose is one of the biggest compliments your dog can give you? When a dog sleeps belly up, he's showing you the most vulnerable parts of his body, his stomach and throat. That means he feels completely safe, secure, and loved in your home. He's telling you, "I trust you with my life." But that's not all. Sleeping on their back is practical too. Dogs don't have sweat glands all over like we do, so they cool themselves through areas with less fur, like their belly. By stretching out like that, they let the air reach their warmest spots and keep their body temperature just right, especially during hot days. So if you ever walk by and see your dog snoring away, legs in the air, take a moment to appreciate what it really means. He's at peace, comfortable, and feels safe by your side. And speaking of comfort, have you noticed how much your dog loves soaking up the sunshine? There's a good reason for that too, so let's dig into it. Let's move from cozy sleeping spots to those sunny patches on the porch or in the yard where your dog loves to stretch out and soak up the warmth. You've probably noticed how your dog finds that perfect spot where the sun hits just right and stays there for what seems like forever. But why do dogs love lying in the sun so much? Well, for starters, your dog's body naturally runs a little warmer than yours. So that warm sunshine helps him reach the perfect temperature where he feels comfortable and relaxed. But there's more to it than just feeling cozy. Sunbathing helps your dog's blood vessels expand, which boosts circulation and can even ease aches and pains, especially in older dogs who might feel a little stiff. If your dog has joint issues like arthritis, that warm sun can be just the thing to soothe sore muscles. Plus, sunlight helps dogs produce more melatonin, which is a hormone that makes sleep deeper and more restful. Of course, while a good sun nap is healthy, it's smart to watch for signs of overheating. If your dog starts panting too much or seems sluggish, it's time to bring him into the shade and offer some cool water. So, the next time you see your dog sunbathing, know he's not just being lazy, he's doing something good for his body. And while we're talking about odd things dogs do with their bodies, here's another one that might tickle your feet. Have you ever wondered why your dog loves to lick your toes? All right, let's tackle something that might make you squirm a little. Those unexpected ticklish moments when your dog comes over and starts licking your feet. It can feel odd, or even a bit gross. But for your dog, it's perfectly natural. Dogs explore the world through their noses and mouths, and your feet tell them a whole story about where you've been. Thanks to a special organ called Jacobson's organ, tucked up in the roof of their mouth, dogs can taste and smell at the same time. So, when your dog licks your feet, he's gathering all kinds of information about you, like where you walked today, who you met, or what you stepped in. And let's not ignore the obvious. Your feet taste salty from sweat, which dogs don't mind one bit. But beyond the taste and scent, licking is also one of the ways dogs show affection. It's how they bond with you and say, "I love you, you're part of my pack." Of course, if the licking gets out of hand, it can be a sign your dog is bored or anxious and needs a little more mental or physical activity. So next time you feel that wet nose and tongue on your toes, try not to pull away too fast. He's just trying to connect with you in the best way he knows how. Now, on the flip side, have you ever had your dog suddenly nip at your hand when you're petting him? Let's talk about what's really going on when that happens. Now let's look at a moment that can catch you off guard. You're giving your dog a nice scratch behind the ears or running your hand down his back, when suddenly he turns and gives you a quick nip. It might feel like a tiny bite or just a sharp pinch, but it can be confusing and even a little hurtful if you don't know why it's happening. The truth is, dogs don't bite their people out of spite. That quick nip is often your dog's way of saying, "Hey, I've had enough," or "Something doesn't feel right." Sometimes your dog might be overstimulated, especially if he's excited or if the petting hits a sensitive spot. Other times, he might have a little ache or pain you didn't know about, maybe an old injury or some arthritis acting up. And for dogs who weren't properly socialized or who have had rough experiences in the past, sudden petting can feel uncomfortable or even scary. The best thing you can do is pay attention to your dog's body language. If his ears go back, his tail stiffens, or he turns his head away, that's your cue to give him a break. Always let your dog come to you for affection when he's ready, not the other way around. And if the nipping happens often, it's smart to talk to your vet or a good trainer to make sure there's no hidden pain or stress. Now, speaking of things that confuse us, have you ever watched your dog bark at absolutely nothing? There's a reason for that too, and it's not what you might think. All right, here's one that's puzzled almost every dog owner at some point. You're sitting quietly, maybe reading your paper or watching TV, when suddenly your dog perks up, stares into the empty hallway, and starts barking like there's a stranger standing right there. You look, there's nothing. So, what's really going on? Well, even though it might feel spooky, your dog isn't barking at ghosts. He's simply using senses that are way sharper than ours. A dog's hearing is so sensitive that he can pick up high-pitched sounds or tiny noises that we can't hear at all, like the rustle of a mouse in the wall or the faint click of a neighbor's car door down the street. On top of that, your dog's nose can detect smells hours or even days after the source is gone. So that sudden bark might mean he just caught a whiff of another animal or person who passed by earlier. And here's something else. Sometimes dogs learn that barking brings attention. If barking at the empty hallway makes you look up and talk to him, your dog might just keep doing it to get a reaction. The best thing you can do is check for anything unusual, then calmly reassure him or redirect his focus to something else, like a favorite toy or a treat. So, next time your dog barks at nothing, remember, to him, it's never really nothing at all. Now, if you think that's about as close as your dog can get, wait until we talk about why some dogs can't stand to let you out of their sight, even when you're just going to the bathroom. Now, let's talk about a behavior that's sweet, funny, and maybe a little bit clingy. When your dog becomes your shadow and won't let you out of his sight, not even for a quick bathroom break. If your dog follows you from room to room, parks himself right by your feet, or waits outside the bathroom door like he's guarding the gates, you've got what folks like to call a Velcro dog. So, why does he do it? For starters, dogs are pack animals by nature. In the wild, they stuck close to their group for safety and company. And to your dog, you are his family, his pack, and his safe place. Following you around is his way of making sure he's right there to protect you, love you, and yes, maybe get an extra snack if the chance comes up. Sometimes, dogs who have been rescued or who spent time alone in the past feel even more attached because they don't want to lose you again. While it's heartwarming to know your dog loves you so much, too much attachment can sometimes turn into separation anxiety when you do have to leave. The best way to help is to build your dog's confidence slowly. Give him small moments alone with a treat or a toy so he learns you'll always come back. And when you are home together, enjoy that loyal shadow by your side. It's one of the sweetest bonds you'll ever have. Next up, have you ever looked out in the yard and caught your dog eating dirt? It might look harmless, but there's more to that too. Now, let's tackle another head-scratcher that might leave you shaking your head. When you catch your dog nose down in the yard, happily chomping away at dirt. It might look like simple curiosity, but when dogs eat dirt, it's usually not just for fun. This habit has a name, pica. Pica means eating things that aren't food, and for dogs, dirt is one of the most common. Sometimes they do it because they're bored or anxious and they're looking for something, anything, to do. But more often, it's their body trying to tell you something. Some dogs eat dirt when they have an upset stomach or if they're feeling nauseous. Other times, it's because they're missing certain minerals or nutrients in their diet. There's even research that shows dogs with anemia or other health conditions may look for minerals in the soil to fill the gap. The problem is, eating dirt can bring along some risks too. Pesticides, parasites, or sharp objects could make your dog sick or cause an upset stomach that turns into something worse. So, if your dog is digging in and eating dirt more than once or twice, it's worth talking to your vet. They can help you check if your dog's food is balanced and make sure there's no hidden health issue. In the meantime, keep your pup busy with toys, games, or extra walks to steer him away from that tempting patch of earth. Now, from dirt to something that might surprise you, what does it mean when your dog sits with his back turned to you? Let's break down that sweet little mystery next. Now here's a quiet little gesture that might leave you scratching your head. Your dog plops down right in front of you, then turns around so his back is facing you. Some people worry that this means their dog is ignoring them or doesn't care. But the truth is the complete opposite. When your dog sits with his back to you, he's actually telling you, "I trust you to watch my back." In the dog world, turning your back is a sign of trust and comfort. It means he feels so safe around you that he doesn't need to keep an eye on you. Instead, he's keeping an eye on everything else to make sure you're protected. Dogs are natural guardians. By sitting facing outward, he's taking on the role of lookout for the pack, which in this case is you and your family. Another sweet reason? In dog language, avoiding direct eye contact is sometimes a sign of respect. By sitting with his back turned, your dog is showing you that he sees you as his leader and doesn't feel the need to challenge you. So the next time you see your furry friend sitting calmly with his back against your leg, take it as a quiet thank you. He's saying he feels completely safe by your side. Now, while that's adorable, not everything they do on the floor is so pleasant to see. Let's talk about what it means when your dog scoots his backside across the carpet. All right, here's a sight that's funny at first, but definitely shouldn't be ignored. When your dog scoots his backside across the carpet or the grass. It might get a laugh, but for your dog, it's not just a silly trick. Most of the time, scooting means your dog is trying to relieve some serious itch or discomfort back there. The most common cause? Those tiny glands just inside your dog's bottom called anal glands. These little glands release a scent that dogs use to mark their territory, but sometimes they get clogged or irritated. When that happens, your dog feels an itch he just can't scratch any other way, so he drags himself along the floor to try to feel better. Other times, scooting can be caused by things like allergies, parasites, or skin irritation. Some dogs might even have a little bit of leftover mess stuck in their fur, especially if they have longer hair. So, what should you do if you see it? If it happens just once, keep an eye on it. But if your dog scoots often, licks or bites at his backside a lot, or you notice a strong fishy smell, it's time for a vet visit. Treating swollen or infected glands early can spare your dog a lot of pain and save you a bigger mess down the road. So next time you see that little scoot, don't just giggle. Make sure your furry buddy is comfortable and healthy. And speaking of stretching out and staying comfy, let's wrap up with one of the sweetest moves your dog makes. That big happy stretch when he sees you walk through the door. Now, let's bring it all back to that simple, heartwarming moment when you walk through the door and your dog greets you with a long, happy stretch. You know the one. He drops his front legs low, sticks his rear end up in the air, and gives you a look that says, "I'm ready for anything." Some folks think their dog is just waking up his muscles after a nap, and that's partly true. But this stretch, often called a playbow, is so much more than just a good morning yawn for dogs. It's actually one of your dog's favorite ways to say, "I'm happy you're here, let's have fun." When your dog stretches like this, he's loosening up his muscles, shaking off any leftover stiffness, and showing you that he's ready for playtime or a walk around the block. It's his way of inviting you to join his world and share a bit of that joyful energy. And there's something even sweeter. This greeting stretch means your dog feels safe, comfortable, and eager to spend time with you. So the next time your dog bows low with that tail wagging high, take a moment to smile back. Give him a gentle scratch, and maybe toss his favorite ball. He's not just stretching, he's telling you, "You make my day better." And that, my friend, is what makes all these funny, puzzling little dog habits so worth understanding. They're small signs of trust, love, and the unbreakable bond you share with your best friend. So now you know, all those funny things your dog does every single day, from scratching the yard to zooming around the living room, from licking your feet to stretching out in that playful bow, they're all part of how he shows you love, trust, and joy. The more you understand these little signals, the closer you and your dog become. If you found this helpful and you'd like to learn even more about what's really going on in your dog's heart and mind, I've got another video waiting for you. Click on the one you see here to discover 10 surprising signs your dog truly loves you. You might be surprised by what you find out. Thanks for spending this time with me today, and give your best friend an extra belly rub from me.